If you're a locksmith, I think you're really going to enjoy this video. I am going to dive into all of the tactics that can improve your SEO keyword rankings. I'm going to talk about the overall competition for locksmith from an SEO standpoint compared to other industries that we work with. We're going to talk about the shady tactics that a lot of locksmiths do from an SEO standpoint and how to circumvent that. So let's dive into it. Just to give you a brief on me, my name's Jason Parks, owner of The Media Captain. I own a marketing agency. We've been around for more than 15 years. We've worked with SEO clients across many verticals, including locksmith. So the tactics that I'm going to share with you, we've actually deployed for our clients. Let's dive into the overall competition. According to SEMrush, the keyword difficulty is at a 25%. That grades out as low competition. So when it comes to ranking on Google for a locksmith, it's not that challenging. This is dependent on what market you're in, obviously, which we'll dive into a little bit later. But the reason for that is that locksmith SEO is very localized. You're trying to rank for locksmith in Tampa Bay, locksmith Cleveland, Ohio, wherever your local market is. I've worked for car insurance client at a major scale, and they are competing with Progressive and Geico, and that is a national competition. So the competition is much higher. That's why when you're seeing 25, it should be within striking distance if you're doing the right thing. To gauge overall competition, I also look at the average cost per click. It comes in at $8 to $10, which is moderate. We work with personal injury clients, and the cost per click is north of $100 because a case could be worth millions. So the good news is if you're starting out with SEO for a locksmith, or if you're not ranking on the first page, for the most part, competition is on the low to moderate level, so it is achievable. To help you understand keyword difficulty a little bit better, it's helpful to see this at a per market breakdown. So Phoenix, Arizona has a keyword difficulty of a 32%. Phoenix is a top 5 market in the US. Wichita, Kansas, keyword difficulty of a 20%. The reason Wichita is less competitive is because it has a lesser population, which means there are less locksmiths, which means there are less locksmith websites out there, which makes it easier to rank. So the more populated your market is, the more challenging it's going to be to rank. But still, overall, even in Phoenix at a 32, that is still moderate and not too challenging. It's also important to know from a digital marketing standpoint that there is extremely high intent for locksmiths. EB Locksmith is a client of ours, and we have achieved for them a 13.85% conversion rate. And for our standard client, that hovers around 3 to 5%. Well, why is there such a higher conversion rate? It is because the intent for a locksmith is so strong. If somebody is locked out of their home or locked out of their car, they need to take immediate action. There's not time to do very thorough research. In a lot of instances, they're going to just find who's at the top of Google. And if organically you're ranking there, whether in the local pack or organically, that is going to be much more profitable for your business than many other marketing channels. There is a lot of spam when it comes to SEO for locksmith. A lot of businesses spam their Google business profile name. And you can see here, Phoenix Locksmith. There is Johnny Phoenix Locksmith, Anderson Lock and Safe, Phoenix Lock and Locksmith. So what happens is that a lot of locksmiths know that if you include keywords for either the city or locksmith, it's going to improve your chance of ranking in the local pack. So in many instances, when it's not even their real business name, they'll change the name to this to help manipulate rankings. There's ways to combat that. But out of any vertical that I have worked with, locksmith has the most spam within the Google business profile naming convention. So it's just something that you want to be cognizant about. I now want to dive into the overall foundation of your website and your website hierarchy and structure. So I'm actually on the Media Captain's website now. We wrote an extensive guide on SEO tactics for locksmith. I will link to this in the YouTube description. But think of your website like a ladder. At the very top of the ladder is the descriptor term of your business, which is you are a locksmith. That is that descriptor term. All of the rungs leading up the ladder are the different services that you specialize in. So key duplication, emergency locksmith, smart locks, motorcycle locksmith, etc. So you want to make sure your website is structured in this way. And each of these pages should be optimized for your primary market. So in this example, it's Phoenix, the key duplication in Phoenix, motorcycle locksmith in Phoenix. All of those individual pages should be localized. They should all have really useful information. It should have photos of projects that you've done for each different service. It should have testimonials. I can't tell you how often there's not the right site structure in place, and that holds you back a lot. One other tip is that for that term Phoenix locksmith, which is the real money-making tip because there's more volume for that, that should be the homepage of your website should be optimized for that. So again, thinking of the ladder analogy, homepage, Phoenix locksmith, all of the services should be service-specific pages. Now, let's dive into multi-location businesses. So if you own multiple locksmiths and how that should be structured. All right, so let's say you own Pop a Lock Locksmith and your focus is in Arizona. You have a location in Phoenix, Tucson, and Flagstaff. In this instance, the homepage of your website would be optimized for Arizona. So if somebody is searching for an Arizona locksmith, a lot of people don't search statewide. They search more city specific, but it's better than nothing to optimize your homepage for that. And then what you would do is you would build out pages for Phoenix, Tucson, and Flagstaff. And those location-specific pages would be optimized for Phoenix Locksmith, Tucson Locksmith, and Flagstaff Locksmith. And then you can take it a step further and build out service-specific pages for each market. So home locksmith Phoenix, commercial locksmith Phoenix, commercial locksmith Tucson. And you might be asking yourself, well, all of that content seems like it would be similar in nature, which is true, and Google can penalize you for having duplicative content. So what you want to do is you really want to focus on taking pictures of jobs that you've completed, get testimonials from the clients in each market, kind of show the areas that you serve so you have unique content. But when you have a multi-location locksmith business, it is definitely going to be structured differently from an SEO strategy standpoint than a single location. Hopefully you now have a better understanding of SEO for locksmiths, how it works, the importance of having the right overall foundation, the overall competitive landscape based off of what market you're in, and the tactics to deploy. My name is Jason Parks, I'm the Media Captain. If you ever have any questions, you can contact us at themediacaptain.com.